Of course, I'm always very happy when people leave comments. I'm less happy when they leave comments with the sobriquet "anon." This case, the anonymous is slightly more identifiable because it's AnonUK. Isn't pontificating in the job description for any bishop or religious leader? The Pope is Pontifex Maximus, so he's just the biggest pontiff out there. It's a reference to Justin Welby. And yes and no. Yes and no. The term pontifex is often recognized as the Pontifex Maximus or Supreme Pontex, or Supreme Pontiff, sorry. But it's not at all as straightforward as it might originally imply, because the Roman leader, the Roman Pope, is not styled officially Pontifex Maximus. He's styled Summus Pontifex Ecclesiae Universalis, and that's slightly different. He's the supreme pontiff, not the greatest pontiff, and it offers this rich tapestry of historical, religious, etymological significance that stretches back to ancient Rome. Originally, the word comes from pons, which means bridge, and facere, which means to make. So literally, the pontifex is the bridge maker, the bridge builder. And that's not merely a reference to the physical construction, but a deeply symbolic role of the pontifex as the mediator between the divine and humanity. And in ancient Rome, the Pontifex Maximus was initially, he was very important. He wasn't initially the highest religious figure. It's quite a peculiar issue. He was later elevated to that role. According to Livy, it was only after the reforms and the expansions of the priestly ranks by laws like the Lex Ogulnea and later the Lex Domitia, as well as Sulla's reforms in 81 BC, that the Pontifex Maximus rose to become the foremost authority in the state religion. But up to that point, he was the fifth ranking priest, and the duties of the office became greater and greater and greater until they were subsumed in the imperial majesty, overseeing the Vestal Virgin. So quite appropriate today when there's also this story about somebody defacing the temple of the Vestals in Pompeii, interpreting the will of the gods, maintaining the sacred calendar, which tied the Pontifex Maximus to the very governance of the state, and the link between the divine and the city. Now, why is the Archbishop of Canterbury not considered a pontifex in the traditional sense? Despite being a leading figure in the Anglican Church, the Archbishop frankly lacks the historical and the theological claim to the title that's rooted in the Roman tradition. The Archbishop of Canterbury may be a leading ecclesiastical figure, but if we go back to who was it now? Dionysos or somebody. Damascus. So he was one of the first popes after the appropriation of Christianity by the Emperor Constantine, and he was styled in a letter. He was I think, the first pope to be styled pontifex, taking the title from the emperor, acquiring that, and all other bishops were styled episcopos, and that really is what the Archbishop of Canterbury is. Pontifex is about this rather grander concept of being in charge and being directly in contact with God, rather like the guardian of the Rainbow Bridge. That really is the image of the Pontifex Maximus. This great legacy, and which links the Pontifex Maximus links the Pope in Rome to ancient Rome, and the distinction, and that, I think, is not something that Justin Welby, for all his pretensions, may actually invoke. And the distinction underscores the unique continuity between the ancient Roman religious practices and the Christian Church's hierarchy. But as Tom Lear humorously quipped in 1965, take whatever steps you want to if you have cleared it with the pontiff. What is it? Take whatever steps you want if. That's it. Take whatever steps you want if you have cleared it with the pontiff. Ave Maria, G, it's good to see you getting ecstatic and doing the Vatican rag. It's it's a title which carries authenticity, which carries authority. And yesterday I was talking about that word authority and its origins. Authentico. Authentico means the boss, and it's still used as the word for boss in modern Greek. And so to have authority is to be authentic, to be unique, idiotiko, and to be responsible. And the pontifex has that responsibility of bridging the earthly and the divine, a task both daunting and deeply significant, and not quite in the permit or the purview of the current Archbishop of Canterbury, significant though he may be.